When I got home from work last night, I was going to do something nice for myself. After all, I just finished my first week of my brand new job. But instead, I found myself writing an old leather-bound diary. My coworker had left it behind in the break room. It was filled with his neat cursive writing. The other workers barely acknowledged me. There was Tony. The one thing I hated about the job was the smell. Even though the building was spotless, the minute I walked through the door, I smelled formaldehyde, decay, and death. Good worker, bit of a loner. Didn't speak much. He paused, looking at the floor. Disappeared one morning, never came back. Didn't even say goodbye. Weird, right? No one else was there, so I decided to finally read the diary. I opened it to the first page, which was dated August. I was carrying a body into the fridge when it suddenly sat up. I nearly jumped out of my skin. Of course, it didn't really speak. The dead don't talk, right? In November, he wrote, "They're alive. I saw Davis's body moving around. I didn't tell anyone, of course. I'm scared. They're getting louder. I can't take it anymore. They want me to join them. I can feel myself changing, becoming like them. I'm so scared. I quit. I can't believe how stupid I was to think this job was a good idea." I whipped around, but there was no one there. Or was there? As I looked at the empty space beside me, I could have sworn I saw a shadow move. Who am I kidding? I won't get away from them. They're everywhere. Help me, please. After what felt like an eternity, he turned and left. What if they locked me up or injected me with experimental serum to study me? The government is probably behind it all. I bet they're creating an army of zombies. I dialed it hesitantly. It rang once, twice, 3 times before a raspy voice answered. "Hello?" No, I lied, quickly hiding the diary under my jacket. On the top of the next page, I saw something. "Look, whatever he told you, forget it. Just forget it all." Scrunched up in the corner was a small piece of paper. "And trust me, you don't want to be able to see me. Now get rid of that diary. Destroy it. It's for your own good." "Okay, I'll destroy the diary. But Davis..." I unfolded it carefully. It was a name and a number. I recognized the name Davis. It was the same name Jeremy had mentioned in his diary. And Davis was one of the bodies we had at the morgue. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the shadow in the break room. And when I opened them, I searched for it everywhere. Billie Eilish shot me a look. "You look awful," he said bluntly. "Didn't get much sleep?" I tossed and turned, but the clock on my bedside table mocked me, ticking away the hours until I could go back to work. Just, taking a break. I stared at the phone in my hand, torn between fear and morbid curiosity. What did Davis mean? Was Jeremy really the only one who could see and hear him? It was lying open on the table where I'd left it. I already like it here. It's not like the others. I can feel their presence all around me. They welcome me. I can't wait to join them. But now there was a second diary beside it. This one was brand new. Curiosity got the better of me. I picked it up and flipped it open. They tell me I'll be with them soon. I can't wait. And why did he seem so desperate for me to destroy the diary? But I could swear it mouthed the words, "Thank you." About an hour later, I heard shuffling sounds coming from inside. What had he been trying to tell me? I looked at the date of the last entry. It was yesterday. No one was there. Taking a deep breath, I opened the door and stepped inside. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I checked the drawers to make sure all the bodies were accounted for. They were. I froze, my heart pounding. Was it the bodies? But they were locked up tight, weren't they? Did I imagine it? I hope so. Otherwise, that would mean the bodies are coming back to life. And we all know that's not possible. "What do we have here?" he said. His eyes narrowed. "Found anything interesting?" "Day 1 of my new job," it read. "It's a little odd. I work in the city morgue. All the other employees are okay. I froze and listened intently. They sounded like they were coming from the shelf next to me. I looked at the name tag on the drawer, Davis, but when I pulled open the drawer, there was no one inside. I'm starting to think the bodies are coming back to life. This can't be normal. If anyone found out, they'd shut down the entire morgue. I hope I don't get fired. I need this job. They just don't seem to want to talk to me much. Maybe they think I'm weird. I am kind of new though, so I guess I should cut them some slack. I did notice that one of the drawers moved on its own today. Slight shudder. I hope it wasn't the body inside. That would be creepy. Who had been there for over 20 years and knew every procedure by heart. So Jeremy was just as awkward as I was. At least he was on my side when it came to the other workers. Sally, who worked alongside Tony and always seemed to agree with whatever he said. Then there was Billie Eilish. He was the boss. His name wasn't actually Billie Eilish. That was what we called him because he looked like the singer. Plus, he dressed like her too. I didn't want to read it at first. I mean, it was personal, but after reading the first entry, I was hooked. The last thing I remembered before I passed out on my couch was the final entry, which ended with the chilling line. And then he went missing. No, I lied, quickly closing the book. Just this old diary. Do you know who it is? It was 6 a.m. when my phone alarm went off. Still half asleep, I stumbled out of bed and got ready for my first day of work. I started working as a morgue assistant 2 days ago. I needed the money, but I wasn't expecting to make any friends. Gesturing to the machine in the corner. We don't have time for chit-chat right now. We have a busy day ahead of us. Sure enough, after showing me around the building, Billie Eilish showed me to the break room. "Help yourself to some coffee," he said. Suddenly, Billie Eilish stood beside me, his black hoodie engulfing him like a shroud. "Find anything interesting?" he asked. All I could do was nod dumbly as I stared at the worn, leather-bound diary on the table. While I made myself some coffee, I glanced at the diary again. Should I read it? What if it was someone's personal journal? Oh, Billie Eilish followed my gaze. That's Jeremy's. He worked here until a few months ago. I couldn't help but shiver. Was there more to Jeremy's disappearance than met the eye? I decided to find out. When lunch rolled around, I headed to the break room. As I read this, I couldn't help but smile. On September, the entry began. Something strange happened today. For the next few weeks, nothing strange happened. But in October, things took a turn. Today was horrifying. I was organizing the shelves when I heard voices. Jeremy's diary entries became more frantic as the weeks went by. It was December before I read anything new. I haven't slept in days. I keep hearing their whispers. The next entry was dated January. It read, "It's too late. They're inside my head now. They told me they've been waiting for me." The last entry was terrifying. He said the bodies were whispering, and then he went missing. As soon as I finished reading, I felt a cold presence behind me. Suddenly, the door flew open and Billie Eilish stomped in. My heart raced. How long had he been standing there? Had he been watching me? He didn't reply, but his silence was even more unnerving than if he'd yelled at me. As soon as he was gone, I opened the diary again. But what about the number? Could it be Davis's phone number? I wanted to hang up, but something compelled me to speak. Hi, are you Davis?" A beat of silence followed. "Who's asking?" I'm a friend of Jeremy's. He mentioned you. Are you okay?" The voice let out a humorless laugh. "Jeremy, you idiot. He shouldn't have given my number to anyone." "But what about Jeremy? You're still alive?" "No, he's the only one who can see me." I nodded, even though Davis couldn't see me. "Please, just do it. Please, please, please." Davis hung up before I could say another word. That night, sleep was impossible. By the time I got to the morgue, my face was pale and my eyes were droopy. "Yeah, I just couldn't get comfortable," I lied. Sally, who had been beside me the whole time, said, Maybe you should take a sick day. You don't look well." "No, I'm fine," I insisted, forcing a smile. "Just a little tired." I tried to focus on my work, but I kept glancing at the break room. Would I see the shadow again? Was it safe? Slowly, I crept towards the door and peered through the glass panel. Then I noticed it, the diary. The first entry was dated February, day one of my new job. It read. Below that was another entry. "I'm making friends." Some of them whispered to me. I felt a chill run down my spine. Was this diary Jeremy's? Suddenly, I understood. I wasn't Jeremy. I was the new morgue worker. I was the one who'd been missing.